Hello everybody, welcome back to Erndale's. My name is Dale and I'm coming to you from Western Manitoba, Canada, and you are very welcome here. So it's a very gloomy day, so the lighting is kind of icky up here today. I've tried all kinds of different scenarios of going around the room where there might be light, and I think this is the best that I can get. I hope everybody's doing well. We have had now 7 days of rain, and it doesn't seem to want to quit anytime soon. They said from tomorrow on, we should have some sunshine, but I don't know. It's so wet. I tried to do some garden work. I think I had a 3-hour window one day, and I went out and did a few things, and I'll show you that coming up. But that's it. It's so wet out there, you can't do anything. And there's a lot that needs being done, but I guess we just have to wait until the weather cooperates a little bit again. Now we're in the other side of this. Before it was drought all summer. Now it's rain, 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 which is good. We do need the rain, but I also need to get stuff done out there. Anyway, I have had another fairly busy week. I just don't know where these weeks are going to. They just fly by so fast. I have so many plans and so many things that I want to do, and before I know it, it's over. And I'm thinking, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, but I guess it's okay. We've also been doing a lot of running around to medical appointments and things like that, so that cuts into the day quite a bit, but I still managed to get a few things done, even so. I've had nothing finished this week, and I did do something. Actually, I started it last week. You know, I've been wanting to do some watercolor, and I said that I used to do watercolor, but it's been years. I'm turning 70. That was back in my teen years that I was doing that. And I decided, I was on Facebook one day, and a thing popped up from somebody offering some beginner to intermediate, well, appropriate for beginner or intermediate art course, a short art course, for the cost of $10. Well, it was $10 UK, so it turned out to be 15 or something here. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to do that because I want to paint. I want to draw and paint, but I've sort of forgotten all the basics of, composition and all that stuff. So I signed up for it, and it started last Monday. And to say it's been a challenge is really not putting very much emphasis on it at all. It's been a challenge, but it's also been very good. I've learned a lot, and I think now I have more confidence to carry on with my watercolor projects that I want to do so badly, but have just been hemming and hawing because I don't have the skills. And I still don't have the skills, but at least I have some knowledge of how to get those skills now. And I think that's really important when you're learning or relearning a new skill, is to get as much information about how to do something so that you can go forward and not just be stuck. So I'm going to show you what I've done, and I'm going to show you what I did last year, because I bought these little, I went to the dollar store and I bought a little pack of paints, cheap paints. I think I paid $3 for this little pack of paints, little palette. And I had no watercolor paper, I had no proper brushes, I just had cheap craft brushes. And so I ripped out some pages in an old book and I did a little bit. And I'm going to show you the difference that a little bit of lessons makes to a person's product. Amazing. But I'll show you that coming up. First, I want to talk knitting and crocheting, because I did start 2 new projects, and I did get the Afghan that I ordered from Herrschners. I'm going to show that to you first. So this is the one that I ordered. It's called the Buffalo Plaid Afghan. It's crochet, and unbeknownst to me, because when you buy something, you just get a little thumbnail picture of it like this, and I didn't blow it up. It's a fade, just like the other one was, but this one is a fade in crochet. And I've been reading the instructions, and it tells you to do it in strips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strips this way, and you fade each strip, and then you have to sew them together. Well, I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to cast on. I'm going to figure out how to cast on. I'll show you this little thing. See, this is each panel, and they give you the fade through here. These numbers mean colors. And so I'm going to count how many stitches I need, and I'm going to work out this fade and do it all in one piece. I do not want to sew anything together. So that is a project. I'm not starting this now. I'm going to finish. I need to do Christmas gifts, and I haven't started doing some Christmas gifts. So I want to get all my Christmas stuff done and finished first. Then I will start this when I am finished. If it had been in one piece, I probably would have started it, but now because I have to figure things out, I haven't. And I got the yarn for it, which is the same type of yarn that I got when I did the rose petal Afghan, the one that I just finished. So lots of beautiful colors. This is really nice yarn, actually. It is, this kit was from Herrschners, and you know, I guess that's how I'm buying my Afghan kits. This is Herrschner's Afghan yarn. It's super, super soft stuff. It's nice. And it's a DK weight. It's not worsted. It's quite fine. But it is nice stuff. And by the way, from the other one, I did have yarn left over from that rose petal Afghan. I'm going to make myself a pair of rose petal socks to go with it at some point. Not anytime soon, but yeah, I've got enough to make a pair of socks out of that. They'll be heavier socks because it's DK weight, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then the other thing I did is, I just have to dig in my bag here, sorry about that. I did start the, oh dear, now I'm going to have to stop my video. I did start the sweater, the crocheted sweater. Now, wait a minute, it's so dark in here I can't see which is the right side and which is the wrong side. This is the right side I'm showing you. So it's got a really nice way of doing the ribbing, and then the top is just, I've started into the body. This is the back. It's just like a seed stitch would be. It's a single crochet, double crochet, single crochet all the way across, so you get a nice texture on it. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's going to be nice. So I'm just plunking at this. Whenever I just want to break from something else, I pick this up and do a little bit. But this is not going to be done in time for our fall walking, that's for sure. And now I have to stop you because everything else rolled down the floor. Hold on a second. So last video I said that I had bought this Bernat Premium worsted to make some gloves for Christmas presents, and the pattern that I'm using is a really old pattern book that was my mom's. I don't know who put this book out. There's no cover on it. There isn't even the first page, but it is from the war years, World War II-ish, because these are called service gloves, navy mitts, service socks, that kind of thing. So the pattern in here that I'm using is service gloves for men. And I have done this much on the first pair of gloves. And I think I'm going to have enough yarn in there probably to make about 3 pairs of gloves. So I have a list of people that are getting gloves. I will change. I think the next pair I'll make the whole cuff in a black or a dark navy and then do this. But this pattern, as I was explaining last week, is written in the old style of knitting patterns where you pretty much have to know what the construction is to follow the pattern. And I know when I first made my first pair of gloves using this pattern, I had to rip out and start over and rip out and start over until I figured out what they were saying. So what I've decided to do, as I'm working on this glove, I am writing down the pattern in new knitting pattern language. So when I'm done, I can share that with anybody if they want it. Now, I'm knitting this with worsted weight, and I'm using 3mm DPNs. And actually, I have discovered that I love making gloves, maybe even more than I love making socks. And that's quite a bit because I do love making socks. But these are fun because there's always something going on, you know, like you don't have time to get bored. You've got your gusset here, and then after that, you just got a little bit of straight knitting, but then you got to start working with your fingers, and it's not difficult at all. You just got to make sure that you keep counting your stitches. That's the most important thing. And maybe you could make this with magic loop up to about here, maybe up to about here. But you definitely have to use DPNs for the fingers. This is too small for a magic loop, I would think. I don't know. I'm not a magic loop knitter. I do everything with DPNs, so I wouldn't really know. But I'm just assuming that that might be a little tight for a magic loop. I don't know. Maybe you who do this with magic loop would know. So I'm now going to have to pick up. I'll pick up stitches here on the bottom of this finger and here to make the next finger, and then I'll work in the round. And this is what you do. You just pick up a few stitches that attach it to this finger, and then you pick up a few here, and away you go. And it's super, super easy to do. And it takes no time. I did this in about an hour, this whole thing from start to finish, because it's thick yarn. It's going really, really fast. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of gloves made. I have quite a few people that in mind who are going to get a pair of gloves for Christmas. These ones are for Jonathan. I'm going to do his first just so that I know that I've got them done. But so that is the knitting and the crocheting that I've done. And I think that's probably the only projects. The gloves, I have a pair of socks too from before that I started. I'm going to have socks, gloves, and maybe that sweater. Just whenever I feel like having a change, I'll work on the sweater. But those are the only things that I'm going to be knitting or crocheting right now. That blanket's got to wait. As much as I want to start it, it's got to wait. Well, I am outside, as you can see. Haven't been out here in over a month, to be honest with you, other than picking a few things out of the garden. But everything is finished now. It's time to pull stuff out and get rid of it. There's going to be a lot of changes to this garden again. And that has more to do with the summer that we just had, because I think we're in for a lot of drought years now. I think that's going to be our norm. And this garden is not set up for drought at all. So all of this is perennials. I'm going to cut that down by half because I've lost a lot of perennials. Right now it's just full of quackgrass because I haven't been out here to do anything. I've been concentrating on Gary. So I've decided, since it's in such a bad shape, I'm going to take stock of things in here. There are things in here that I really would rather not have in here, so it's time for those to go. I'm going to concentrate on keeping my roses. This first line here is pretty good. I don't mind this. It's the stuff at the back that I have a problem with. So I'm going to take it down by half. And then the two raised beds that I have on the other side of the house are going to come back here. I'm going to have all my raised beds here. And that's for watering ease. I do have 2 water barrels, but it's that other side gets forgotten because everything is over here. So I'm going to bring everything over here, and I'm going to put those other 2 boxes somewhere back here. Now, over here, this can all stay. The cosmos, of course, are going to go as long as all the weeds. There's roses in there, and I'm going to try not to let cosmos in here next year. I'm sure they have seeded themselves because look at all the seed heads on there. But they're not going to be in here next year. Next year it's going to be just the things that I planted. There's 3 roses, and there's a few dianthus, and there's one, should be, yes there is, there's one daisy. That's all that's going to be in this part here. And oh no, there's 3 roses. One here, one there, and one there. This can stay, although it's going to get cleaned up. This over here is, look how wet it is. Now we get the rain. We've had so much rain. Over here, this is, trying to wait till the noise subsides. This is a Wyoming black raspberry. Once again, for the 5th year running, not a raspberry, maybe 5 on there, but all this growth. And I don't want something to take up this much space that's not giving me anything back, so it's coming out. I'm ripping this out of here. And so there will be a currant, and one at the end. Those are sunflowers. Those are annuals, doesn't matter. So this strip here is not going to be here anymore. I'm just going to have the 3 currant bushes, which are quite spaced apart, and there's going to be lawn in between. Look at the root from this tomato. That's mad. This was in my raised bed. Crazy. Oh, I have to say, it does feel good to be working outside. I've missed this all summer long. So I am accomplishing quite a bit. I'm getting this all cleaned up here. I got to here. So now I got to go around and in behind. And then this whole area will be done, and I'll spread some compost throughout. I tell you, a lot of work. But it's been a summer of no work, so yeah, I'm feeling so much better now that I've been doing this. Down on my hands and knees and getting close to the earth. This is what I love so much. It does look better, doesn't it? Look at my knees. I am a gardener who wears old clothes. I get a real kick out of some of these people who garden with all their diamonds on and jewelry all over and dresses. Get real. This is real. It's my real anyway. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this part right here. Isn't that a nice shot of some good fall cleaning? Very happy. So I'm going to take you over to my other area of the studio here and show you what I'm doing with this course. I'm going to show you my early paintings that I started just on the book pages. I think I've shown them before, but maybe not. They're very, 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 very rudimentary. But I think you'll agree that there's been an improvement. And I actually did one of my little doors. I said I was going to make another little book like the first one I made. And I used the techniques that I learned so far to do the door. And you will see a big difference in that compared to the little book that I made. And I'll show you the little book again just to refresh your memory. But yeah, I think this little tiny course, there's only 5 lessons in it, but I think this little course has really opened up my mind to different things, and also she's teaching sketching and watercolor, which is good. The sketching part is what I think has been the biggest benefit to me. And I'm really struggling. The only thing that I'm really struggling with is the color mixing. I'm not doing well with that at all. But that's the thing that comes with practice. You know, if you know what colors go together to make another color, that's just a practice thing. That's all that is. So let's go over there and I'll show you what I'm up to with my painting. So when I first started doing my watercolor, I just, like I said, just got some old paper and I just fooled around. I didn't have any sketching. I didn't sketch it first. I just did it all with watercolors. So this was the very first thing that I did, which I didn't think was horrible. I mean, it's okay. I might use it in a journal or something like that. And then I did this little one. Same thing. I didn't think it was horrible. But I didn't sketch first on this one either. I just used the watercolors, those cheap little watercolor paints that I have. And I did no color mixing. I just drew with the pen or with the brush. Then I did this one. So you can see I was just making color, really, is what I was doing. And then I did draw the outline of this, and I just painted it in. And this one, I was really pleased with myself with this one. I just did the outline with some pencil, and then I just did the rest with a brush and paint. And I was very pleased with this. I thought this was wonderful. But then, in the course, the very first piece that we had to do was a house. And first we had to sketch it. So here is the sketch of my house. So when we finished sketching the house, then we had to watercolor it. And here is my picture. Here's my watercolor of that sketch. I don't know if I'm getting it all in there. There we go. Yeah, so I couldn't believe that I had done this. I really was quite shocked at myself. But I think that the best part was the sketching. Once I had the outline and everything, the painting seemed like just play fun, really. So the second one we did is, I'll show you the sketch for that one. And here is the painted one. Now this one I don't mind this part, but I find this is supposed to be a blanket, and I find this doesn't look like a blanket, it looks like the sea. So I think I'm still going to come in here and maybe do a little bit of more shading just to make it look like it is something else other than the sea. But that looks good enough to eat as far as I'm concerned. I'm quite happy with this one otherwise. And again, it was the sketching that made this piece what it is. And I learned so much just about plain ordinary sketching. So that was the second one. And here is the painted piece. Now, I'm not a fan of her colors. She uses a lot of purples and things like that, which is not really me. But I'm very happy with this piece. I just I just kind of have to pinch myself that I did this because you know, when you go from this to this, it's quite a difference. But I just want you to see what a little bit of instruction can do for you on something that you're learning to do pretty much on your own. Just 5 little lessons can make a major, major difference. So now we're at the fourth lesson. Actually, I'm behind. She's already done the fifth lesson, but I'm still struggling with the fourth, and I'll show you why I'm struggling. Because I have the sketch here, and this has been so difficult for me. I'm so far behind because of this cat's face, and I'm sure once it gets painted, it'll look more like a cat, but right now, to me, it looks just like an alien. It's supposed to be a sleeping kitten wearing a sweater. Crazy, but that's what it's supposed to be. So I will show you this one when I get it done next time. It won't be on this video because I won't have it done for this video, but this is the one that I'm working on now. And yeah, this has all been sketched. So when we do a sketching, first we do it in pencil, and then you take a marker of some kind, like I just use one of these micron markers, and then you go over your pencil sketches with the marker, and then you erase all the pencil. I see I still have some pencil on here to get rid of, and then you paint it. And I really find a lot of benefit in this method. So this is the fourth one, and then there's one more after that, which I haven't done yet. So you'll have more painting coming up in other videos. And here's my little first door. I did this one on my own, and I'm amazed at this little one. This is comparing this to that little book that I showed you in the opening of 2 things back. This is way better, and only because I sketched first. So I think this was the best $15, $20 that I've spent in a long time is on this little course. And the course is from Dream and Draw Art School. She's in the UK, I believe. Her name is Anastasia, a lovely young woman, and she posts the whole lesson, and then you, at your leisure, you go through it. First she shows you how to do the pencil drawing, then the sketch, then the painting, and then she waits. You have to submit, first of all, you have to submit, when you get your sketch done, you have to submit it to her on this specific site that she's got. And then you do your watercolor, and then you submit that. So she is marking them. It's not like it's just a fluffy thing. And she is giving critiques on all the work, So that's really good. She goes through in detail the different things that you could do to make your picture better. And I really appreciate that because, you need the feedback too. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this little course. And aside from the cat's face, so far I've loved it. But this is, when something gets difficult, we tend to say we don't want to do it, but you got to motor through. That is my little journey of sketching now and painting. I'm really enjoying this. I'm finding this to be something that is so different from all the yarn and fabric and thread, and I love all that too, but this is nice. It's a nice change. And I think this winter this is going to be something that I'm going to really enjoy doing. I lost the last part of my video. I don't know, the sound went funny and it just vanished. So I'm redoing that. Sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed that little bit about the painting, and I'll put the information about the little art course that I found on Facebook down in the description below. I think this particular course is done now as of today, as of Friday, but yesterday. But I think it looks like she's had these little courses off and on, and she does have a real art school too. So if you're interested, you can go on her website and check her out. But I think for myself, this has been a really beneficial thing to do, and I've enjoyed it a lot. And I will share the cat, and there's one more after the cat. I'll share that with you, hopefully on my next video when I get it done. So thank you for watching. If you like my content, don't forget to try and subscribe if you can. That really helps me out, and give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I love to hear from you all. And I just want to wish you all a very lovely week coming up. Stay well, stay healthy, and stay happy. Stay busy with them fingers. And I will see you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.